Most travelers come to Indonesia for Bali, but beyond the famous beaches and temples, there are islands where giant dragons still roam, coral reefs filled with thousands of marine species, volcanoes rising above the clouds, and landscapes that feel almost untouched. And most visitors never see all of it. Indonesia isn't just one island. It's an entire world of islands. A world that stretches across 3 time zones and 2 hemispheres, where every island tells a different story. What people think Indonesia is. When people picture Indonesia, they usually think of Bali. Palm trees, temples, and tropical beaches. And that version of Indonesia certainly exists. Yoga retreats overlook jungle valleys. Surfers chase perfect waves along golden coastlines. Ceremonies fill temple courtyards with color and incense smoke. But Indonesia is one of the largest archipelagos on Earth. More than 17,000 islands stretch across the equator. Each region offers a completely different landscape and a completely different culture. Indonesia contains more biodiversity than almost any nation on the planet. It's home to ancient rainforests, active volcanoes, and some of the richest marine ecosystems ever documented. Yet most travelers experience only a fraction of what exists here. Bali, the anchor. Bali remains Indonesia's most famous destination. The island blends nature, spirituality, and culture in ways that feel almost effortless. Temples sit on cliffs overlooking the ocean, their stone gates framing endless blue horizons. Rice terraces curve across green valleys shaped by centuries of careful cultivation. Daily life often revolves around ceremonies and traditions passed down through generations. Offerings appear on doorsteps each morning. Gamelan music drifts through village streets. Processions wind through towns during religious festivals, with entire communities participating in elaborate rituals. Bali's culture remains deeply connected to the Hindu traditions that arrived here more than 1,000 years ago. For many travelers, Bali is the gateway to Indonesia. It's where journeys begin, where first impressions form, where the pace of life slows down just enough to notice details often missed elsewhere. But it's only one piece of a much larger country. Komodo Islands. East of Bali lies Komodo National Park, one of the few places on Earth where Komodo dragons still exist in the wild. These giant reptiles can grow more than 3 meters long and weigh up to 90 kilograms. They're apex predators, ancient survivors, the largest lizards still walking the planet. The islands themselves are rugged and dry, shaped by volcanic activity and tropical winds. Hills rise above bright turquoise water, their slopes covered in savanna grass that turns golden during the dry season. The contrast between land and sea feels almost surreal. Beaches here aren't the typical white sand found elsewhere in Indonesia. Some shorelines glow soft pink, colored by fragments of red coral mixed into the sand over thousands of years. Few landscapes feel this dramatic or this wild. Raja Ampat. In far eastern Indonesia lies one of the richest marine ecosystems on Earth, Raja Ampat. The name translates to 4 kings, referring to the 4 main islands that anchor this remote archipelago. Thousands of small islands rise from bright blue water, their limestone cliffs covered in jungle vegetation. Coral reefs here support more marine species than almost anywhere else on the planet. Scientists have documented over 1,500 species of fish and more than 600 types of coral in these waters. That's more biodiversity per square kilometer than nearly any other marine environment ever studied. Above the surface, the islands feel almost untouched. Villages remain small and scattered. Tourism infrastructure stays minimal. Much of Raja Ampat exists in a state that feels closer to wilderness than destination. Getting here requires effort, multiple flights, boat transfers, and careful planning. Most visitors leave Indonesia thinking they've seen it, but the deeper you explore, the more it changes. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. We focus on places that reveal themselves slowly through exploration rather than headlines. Java volcanoes. Indonesia sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most active volcanic regions on Earth, where tectonic plates collide and magma rises close to the surface. Java alone contains dozens of volcanoes, many still active. At Mount Bromo, smoke rises from the crater across a vast volcanic, plain known as the Sea of Sand. The landscape feels otherworldly. Ash-covered ground stretches toward distant peaks. Sulfur vents release yellow-tinged steam. The air smells sharp and mineral-rich. At sunrise, the entire landscape glows with golden light that transforms the terrain into something almost mystical. Visitors wait before dawn to hike to viewpoints overlooking the caldera. As light spreads across the valley, the full scale of the volcanic system becomes visible. Multiple craters, ancient lava flows, and the perfect cone of Mount Semeru rising in the distance. These volcanoes helped create the islands themselves. Village life and island communities. Across Indonesia, daily life often revolves around community rather than individualism. Fishing villages line many coastlines, their houses built on stilts above the water or tucked into sheltered coves. Fishermen launch small boats before dawn, navigating by stars and experience. They return with catches that feed entire villages, their arrivals marked by communal sorting of fish on beach shores. Inland communities farm rice and tropical crops across terraced hillsides and fertile valleys. Vendors arrange produce in careful displays, pyramids of tropical fruit, bundles of fresh herbs, baskets of still wriggling fish. The atmosphere mixes commerce with conversation, creating spaces where economic exchange and social connection happen simultaneously. Life on many islands still follows traditions passed down for generations. Indonesian food culture. Indonesian cuisine reflects the country's diversity in profound ways. Rice forms the base of many meals, cultivated across thousands of paddies and prepared in countless regional styles. Dishes like nasi goreng and satay appear across the islands, but each region adds its own variations. The spice blends change. The accompanying sauces differ. What remains consistent is the importance of flavor, bold, layered, and unapologetic. Street food stalls fill markets and city streets, offering everything from grilled skewers to complex curries. Turmeric, ginger, lemongrass, and chili appear frequently. Coconut milk enriches curries. Tamarind adds tartness. Palm sugar brings subtle sweetness that balances heat and acid. Eating in Indonesia means experiencing layers of flavor that build with each bite. The cuisine doesn't simplify easily. It demands attention, rewarding those who take time to notice how components work together. Why travelers explore more of Indonesia? Indonesia continues to attract travelers from around the world, with visitor numbers growing steadily each year. But many visitors now move beyond Bali, drawn by curiosity about what else exists across this vast archipelago. Island hopping reveals entirely new landscapes with each destination. One day brings volcanic highlands shrouded in mist. The next offers coral atolls where water glows electric blue. Then jungles dense enough to block sunlight. Then beaches where sand meets forest without transition. Volcanoes, reefs, jungles, and beaches exist across thousands of islands, each shaped by unique geological and cultural forces. Few countries offer such variety within their borders. Fewer still maintain ecosystems this pristine across regions this diverse. The infrastructure exists to support exploration without overwhelming the places being explored. Local guides share knowledge accumulated over lifetimes. Small guest houses provide simple accommodation in remote areas. Boat captains navigate between islands with skill honed through years of reading currents and weather. Who this side of Indonesia is for? This side of Indonesia is for travelers who love discovery more than comfort, who value authenticity over convenience. For those curious about cultures spread across islands, each maintaining distinct traditions despite sharing a national identity. For people drawn to landscapes shaped by volcanoes and oceans, where geological forces remain visible and active. It rewards patience. It challenges assumptions. It expands perspectives in ways that only deep engagement with a place can achieve. The country doesn't reveal itself quickly. Understanding takes time. Time to notice patterns, to appreciate subtleties, to recognize how thousands of islands create something greater than their individual parts. Indonesia isn't just Bali. And once you move beyond the obvious stops, you realize how much more there is. How many islands remain unexplored? How many communities continue traditions outsiders rarely witness? How many reefs teem with life that science has barely documented? Indonesia reveals itself slowly, one island at a time. Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version, for places that require curiosity rather than just a ticket. What part of Indonesia would you explore first? The volcanoes? The remote reefs? The villages where life follows rhythms unchanged for generations? Let us know in the comments.